Skins say Josh Norman could miss no games or up to 3, and if he hadn't gone out of the game against the Kansas City Chiefs with the injury, maybe there would have been a different outcome. While he was in the game, I believe he was allowing 5.54, or the Redskins defense is allowing 5.54 yards per pass.
Yeah, right.
After he departed, and no scores at that point. After he left, 8 yards per pass and
a couple scores.
Floodgates open.
Well, that's because Breeland's not Josh Norman.
That is correct.
He may not even be Kendall.
Josh on a pass that he actually gave up. Actually targeted him.
Yeah.
I don't know that Josh Norman would be a difference. I don't know if I buy into that. I'm not sophisticated enough to know whether or not Greg Minuski changed his defensive scheme.
Well, Norman's better than Breeland.
Right, but was Norman on Travis Kelce?
I'm not sure if he was on him the entire game.
That's who ate him up.
I'm not sure if he would be on him on that particular play, but if Breeland was on him, I would assume Norman would have been on him. I would assume, and we have to like Craig Hoffman, but I would assume that Breeland's assignments were going to be similar to Norman's once he left.
So they're 2-2. I think most of us think they're better than what we expected based on the preseason and based on kind of the offseason. What is your concern, Redskins fan? Phone number is 800-636-1067. Is it Josh Norman being back? If he misses a couple games, he's a critical piece? Or is it something else? I think defensively, it probably is just the injuries.
I don't think it's
the biggest concern.
That's
because
a concern, but
they're playing well.
For me, going forward for the Redskins, my biggest concern would be the uncertainty of the running game.
Yeah.
Like, is Rob Kelly going to be there? Is it Samaje Perine? Can Perine hold on to the ball? Does Chris Thompson get worked more into the running game, even though he's slight and they don't want to overexpose him injury-wise? I'm concerned about the running game.
What's your biggest area of concern for the Redskins?
I would agree with Kate. Running game. Even though they've tried to be balanced, and and Gruden is certainly, sticking with it, even though it's been subpar.
Right.
It just puts a lot of pressure on Cousins and the passing game to score points.
Right.
And I just think that passing game, it's good. It's just not as good as it was last year. So I think they're going to struggle to score prolifically like they did last year through the air. But, maybe they get better. Maybe they get better, not just passing the ball, but maybe they get better running the ball. I don't know if they're going to change backs. I don't know if they're going to go back to Kelly. I don't know if they're going to, start dabbling a little bit with Mac Brown.
Yeah. I think they'd like to go back to Kelly.
Yeah.
He just has started the last couple of games, and then he gets banged up.
He gets hurt.
Hey, left with an ankle injury against the Chiefs.
But you absolutely have to be able to run the ball in certain spots.
Right.
And they haven't been able to do it.
As far as the Redskins go, my biggest concern is inconsistency with players executing plays and something that we can't really control and they can't really control, injuries. We play hard and we play tough and we play through injuries as well as we could. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't have certain bodies and certain talent, eventually you will be exposed. And inconsistency as far as execution, the biggest thing that comes to my mind is Terrell Pryor. I mean, the boy really just can't catch.
Yep.
And we are supposedly dependent on him to be a big chunk of this offense. And if you can't do simple things like on 3rd and 6, run a slant route and catch the ball, that's something that can show up and hurt us, in a lot of ways. One play, 1 inch is the difference in a win and a loss. So inconsistency, we need to just be more consistent all around in everything that we do. And that's my biggest concern for us right now.
Thank you, Vince. I was waiting for somebody to bring up the receivers. You can chime in at 800-636-1067. We're hitting the Skins. What is your biggest area of concern as they enter the bye week?